why I'm struggling making this video. I've like refilmed this a couple of times just because like I keep getting my words like my words tongue-tied or something. Anyways, here we go. Hey book lovers. This video is actually for all of you wonderful subscribers who have been following me over the years and know this channel to be a booktube channel. As you've probably already noticed, I have already made some changes to the channel name, and I've changed it to Michelle and dropped off the Loves Books part of the name. And that's basically what I'm here to talk to you about today. This is something that I have been ruminating over for a really long time, especially over this last year, because my lifestyle since I've moved to Alabama has changed a lot. And I just am not finding enough time to do all the reading. And there is a lot of pressure when you have a niche channel like BookTube to constantly have new books to talk about. So therefore I'm finding it difficult to find new and fresh content to even put on my channel. And so I know things have slowed down a lot. Furthermore, I just have other topics that I'm also interested about. But let's go ahead and rewind back to when I first started YouTube. When I first started YouTube, I did all of this is like back in 2018, and it was right before I graduated from college, and I watched all the videos on like how to start a YouTube channel, and there was a lot of advice and how-tos, and it was pretty consistent that everyone was kind of saying that you should pick a niche or a focus for your channel and kind of set up this branding from the get-go. As many things go, trends just change. And at the end of the day, you just have to do what it is that you truly love to do, and however you want to do it. I actually watch quite a few channels that maybe are primarily booktube, or that's why I was drawn to their channel. However, they also add a lot of other things that they like to do into their channel. For example, they might be like a booktube channel who also is like working on writing their own book, or is an artist, or just shares maybe, like for example, I was really drawn to Rachel Oates' channel because of her content on poetry, but that's actually a very small portion of her channel. But I continuously watch her because she has a lot of interesting discussions on different current events. She has a variety of things. She's also an artist, and so I think that you can do anything you want with your channel. As I said, having a specific niche is very limiting, and I do have a lot of other things that I really love to do that I would like to share. One of my favorite things to do though is keeping a YouTube channel. I don't know what it is about just kind of, you know, creating videos, sharing them, and get to know people from all over the world because we share common interests. And I feel like I learn a lot of things off of YouTube. So I just think that the platform itself is a hobby that I really like to do. But I'd like to find a little bit more balance in also my own life. One thing I find that I do is, because YouTube can be really time consuming and constantly thinking up content, but when you can only think about content for one of your hobbies, I don't end up giving attention to some of my other hobbies that I have. And I feel like that's kind of leaving a hole in me. And I also feel like I'm still having a lot of projects that I would really like to do, but I don't end up getting them around to them because I feel like I need to dedicate that time to my booktube channel. The second thing I had to decide was, should I expand my existing channel that I already have? But I wasn't really sure that that was going to go over well. I believe now that that was probably influenced from a lot of, you know, the advice I had been given throughout the years of watching like how to improve my YouTube channel and stuff. Or should I start from scratch and just start a secondary channel? But then I didn't really particularly love that idea because it just gives me one more platform to have to monitor and keep track of. And then it's splitting my attention between the two. So then how was I going to be able, I'm already like running thin on everything. And so I just feel like that's just creating more stress to add a whole nother channel. So this was a very difficult decision, and that's why it's taken me like probably a year or over a year to finally decide on what to do. I kind of feel like most people would advise to start a new channel because I've already established a niche here, but I kind of feel that that whole concept is maybe moot point anyhow. Putting myself in like a viewer's shoes, when I open up the YouTube app on my phone, which is where I usually watch most of my YouTube, is I am given a feed on my front page of topics based on things that I watch, or current videos from subscribers that I follow, or I go straight to the search box and search for a topic that I'm interested in. So I don't necessarily feel that that's really even a big issue, because I don't really feel expanding my topics really conflicts with anything. Anyway, I'm just going off on a ramble and just kind of going through the thought process. If this is something that you have also considered, I do know a lot of YouTubers that I watch, booktubers in particular that I watch, really go through a burnout phase. I feel like we get these moments where it's like, I'm super motivated to read a lot, and generally at the beginning of the year, I'm super motivated to read a lot, and then life gets in the way and we get kind of bogged down and we feel like we're behind throughout the middle of the year. And then maybe summer comes along, or you have a holiday and you're really excited to read again, and then you have like a massive burnout and you just get roadblocked, or you're trying to read for different activities, but then life gets in the way, and then like the end of the year comes up and there's a massive like rush to read a lot because we have a little bit more time off with the holidays, and then trying to meet those goals by the end of the year. And I just feel like that kind of causes a frenzy and a stress around reading, and then maybe that's why more burnouts are kind of happening. Anyway, I guess I'm just kind of curious as to like what other people think about these things and what's your take on them. Either way, I have made my decision on what I'm gonna do, and I just wanted to talk to you guys about it and kind of give you a heads up of what's going on and why you're gonna be seeing different content. I have tried to experiment. Back when I lived in Florida, I was experimenting a little bit by kind of adding reading vlogs into it, where I added more about my personal life. And one of them did pretty well, but most of the others, they are among the least watched videos on my channel. So I kind of got discouraged from doing that. But some of the things that I have in mind, I think will may help give me a boost, or give my channel a boost. So let's go ahead and get into the things that you can look forward to from my channel. Obviously, I still love reading, and I still love sharing my opinions and thoughts on and doing all the other booktube things like book tags, and I haven't done read-alongs for a very long time, so we'll see. Maybe I'll pick one of those up sometimes. But when I've been putting together some recent videos and kind of thinking about getting back into my YouTube channel recently, I've been looking back at everything I read this year so far, and I really just, and even I think even the year before, it's really made me kind of reflect on things a lot more, because I'm looking at everything that I've read in the last year or two, and it really just does not reflect some of my most favorite genres and topics. And I have a lot of different reasons why I think that happened, and it needs to stop, basically. People kind of have a specific genre that they really totally gravitate towards, and mine is absolutely fantasy and science fiction, dystopian. Those are my jam. Those are the things that I really love the most. So those genres should be like up here, and everything else, because I do still like to try out new things, and I found a lot of gems in other genres that I really enjoyed. The primary genre I love to read should be up here, and everything else should be down here, but somehow the bars have like flipped, and it's really no wonder I haven't enjoyed my reading in the past year or two. I think I've only given one book a 5-star rating this year. I might have another one coming up, but by the end of the year, because the books that I'm reading right now, I'm loving, and I'm back to where I should be, just not being able to put down these books. So that's a really good place to be, and that's where I want to stay. As I was saying, that I have a lot of other hobbies and interests that I kind of struggle to find and keep a balance to do all the things that I love and kind of dip my toes in all of these things. And let me tell you, I wish I didn't have so many interests because it can be a little bit overwhelming, but then I just like, I want to do all these things as well. And there's just not enough of me. There's not enough time in the day. There's not enough time in my lifetime to do all these things. But it doesn't stop me from wanting to do those things to feel like fulfilled, I guess. So, for example, I really like to make stuff. I've always, since I was a little kid, have loved art. I've taken so many art classes throughout the years, pottery classes, jewelry classes. This room that I'm sitting in is like an art room. It's a dedicated workspace for art stuff, art activities, and I barely use it for what it's supposed to be for, and that's terrible. I spent a lot of time like organizing everything and making it usable, but I haven't really used it a lot. I love to do a lot of DIY projects for my home. I've really gotten into kind of refurbishing furniture for our home. I like journaling and writing. I used to be a very meticulous planner and always have like a planner. That is something that's definitely going to be changing in 2024 again. The years that I haven't really kept a meticulous planner because things have changed so much since being like a stay-at-home mom, that my planning system is going to be different than like when I used to work and especially when I used to go to school. So a couple of years I've just been like, well, I guess I don't really need one, but I have felt kind of lost in a sense of like not knowing what's going on and things when I have a planner or like a daily journal diary that I go to. I feel more connected and more productive. I also like to go on adventures with my kids and my friends out in nature. That's something that has changed a lot since we moved here to Alabama, because there's just so many places to just go on walks, and they're so close, and just the nature here is just wonderful and beautiful and nice. We also like to go explore the city and try new restaurants and try new activities, traveling. I'm also, as I said, I'm a mom. Most of you who have been here know that I have 2 kids. I have a 14-year-old and a 12-year-old. And there's a lot of juggling going on with just that. As I said, I'm a stay-at-home mom. And I think that there are some particular struggles especially in our modern day, with being a stay-at-home mom. And I would love to get into some of those topics for other stay-at-home parents, especially if you like don't do something like homeschooling. But yeah, there's a lot of juggling going on with that, and just trying to make sure that I do my best to raise my boys to go out into the world and be successful members of society who can, and give them the tools that they can build a happy, successful life for themselves. We also have a little bit different lifestyle in the way that my husband works a rotational job and has for the last 10 years, 7 to 10 years, I believe, which means that he travels for work, and he actually travels to Alaska for work, and he lives there for 2 weeks, and then he travels home, and then he's home for 2 weeks. So right now he works in the mines, and then before that he used to work in the oil field, and it was the same rotational schedule where you work 2 weeks on and 2 weeks off. And I think that is, it comes with its own struggles. It also has it gives us a lot of unique opportunities as well, as far as where we can live. We get a lot of comments and questions about it, and a lot of people kind of empathizing or sympathizing with us that they just can't imagine being away from their spouse for such long periods of time. And I think that's kind of interesting, and I think maybe it would be interesting to talk about that on here. I feel like there's a lot of other people who work, a lot of other spouses that, maybe would like to talk about that with me. So I think it kind of offers something interesting to learn about different lifestyle, and is worthwhile to kind of talk about. Of course, I also love TV, movies, video games, And it'd be really fun to share some of those things and my opinions on all of those things on here as well. A lot of times I find myself opting out of watching some of my shows that I'm interested in because I feel the pressure to keep up on my TBR stack and things that I've kind of made a commitment to reading throughout the year, that I am not just relaxing sometimes and just watching a show for the night. And I think that sometimes I just really crave that because like I'm just tired, I'm mentally exhausted, I'm physically exhausted sometimes at the end of the day. Now I'm not 100% sure I'm going to get into talking about some of these other things, but I'm obviously very interested in some other things, other like maybe discussion topics I'm interested in are true crime, feminist issues, religion, philosophical discussions, especially when it comes to topics centering around being a parent, being children, when I was a kid and how my mom raised me and like how I raise my kids. Some things I do the same and some things like some of my core beliefs are the same that I've kind of funneled down to my kids, and some things are different, and like generation and how society has changed, and like when I was a kid we didn't have cell phones, and now trying to raise kids with cell phones and devices in the mix, how video games have changed from then to now, and how I think that impacts our children and so many different ways, and you know, socially, economically, being in society, like how they interact with the world nowadays, how resilient they are nowadays compared to like people of my generation. And it's really fascinating about like my friend Cherish and we are so similar in so many different ways. Like we were both kind of tomboys. We got out roughhouse bike ride, like we were outside all the time, and now we tried, like our kids are so much different now, and we're like, we have these in-depth discussions on, like we have a lot of in-depth discussions between the two of us, and I feel like a lot of these conversations are really worthwhile talking about. And I know there's a lot of parents out there with the same struggles. Fun to, you know, invite more people into this discussion. But yeah, so obviously that's something I'm very passionate about. So that is it. That was my whole little, what would you call it? I don't know, like news. I just wanted to tell you guys about some of the changes that were going to happen to this channel and some things to look forward to. So next up, I'll go ahead and tell you what to look for. So next up, I have a video that I still have to edit, and hopefully it will be up within the week. Quite a big DIY project. I redid my dining room table. I repainted my dining room table. I have that video coming up, and then next up for like book stuff is, I kind of got derailed. So I was reading Sword Catcher, which I love. I really do love it. It's quite a big book. And then I also picked up another book that I started reading because my sister was reading it, called The Hawthorne Inheritance. Let me tell you, I am so addicted to that book. I'm loving it so much. So I've kind of set Sword Catcher aside for a minute because I'm binge reading this series because I cannot put it down. I did want to do a vlog on Sword Catcher. That might have to come after Thanksgiving, but that will be probably the next booktube thing that's going to be coming out. I really hope that you're just as excited as I am for these changes. I think that the great thing about YouTube is that I can set up playlists for different things, so you know, kind of only in their own subject matters, so that will kind of help organize my channel a little bit. But as I said, I hope that you are really excited for the changes to my channel. I definitely am, and thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.